This is a Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel! Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので毎日見てください. Every single day I'm bringing you content about sneakers, upcoming sneaker reviews and upcoming sneaker releases and sneakers in hand. Just like this pair of Sakai blazers over my right shoulder here, which I'll get to in a minute because I have to talk about that for one of you guys out there who's been asking. But that's not the point of today's video. Today's video is all about the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 36 Trail, which is a pop-in sneaker that's coming real soon. It's had a very important sneaker, if you ask me, because recently I've been getting back into my running, and a sneaker like this that is also getting back into something is a big deal. I think it's a really important sneaker out there for runners. Obviously the Pegasus line is a massive line for runners. The biggest selling Nike running sneaker of all time is the Pegasus line. And it's been more than 35 years that the Pegasus line has been dropping sneakers for us and for the runners out there. Very popular line, and this trail sneaker is very popular as well. And there are some things on it that I just don't know about, and I will be asking for your help to tell me specifically two things about it. But one is that there's a map on these sneakers and I just cannot work out where that map is from, and we'll get into that real soon. But for now, let's just get into this video and talk about the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 36 Trail. As I said in the introduction, today is all about the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 36 Trail, and it has been more than 15 years since the Pegasus line dropped as a trail version. So it's a sneaker that I'm very interested in getting into with you guys today. And I really, for me personally, as I said, I'm getting back into running after 2 years away, and I really want to kind of improve my fitness, and trail running is one thing that I really love to do here in Tokyo, Japan. They have excellent trail running routes and places to do that around the Tokyo area, so I'll be looking to do that myself. But before we do that, a quick onegai, to use the Japanese word, which is the request. Please watch as long as possible. I know that's a strange request, but for a channel like mine to be successful, you have to have subscribers, but you also have to have watch time, and my watch time is lagging behind my subscribers a little bit. So please watch for as long as you possibly can, and that will really help. Now, something for you guys out there. One of my loyal viewers said that they would like me to toss in some Japanese lessons into my videos because I am here in Japan. So what I thought I'd do is that every day this week I'm going to drop in one word in Japanese into the videos, and then on Sunday I'll put all of those words together in a sentence. And today's today's Japanese word that I'm going to teach you is the word English. For example, do you speak English? I am speaking English right now, and the Japanese word for English is eigo. Eigo is the Japanese word for English. So if you want to learn a bit of Japanese while you're watching my content, eigo is the word for English, and I'm going to string that together in a sentence later on. And I'm using it right now in a sentence when I speak Japanese, and I say eigo no jimaku o osusume shimasu. Eigo no jimaku o yomi nagara Tokyo About 23のコンテンツを見るとわかりやすいので、英語を聞くと英語を読むと同時にするとわかりやすいと思います。日本語の字幕を入れるのはできませんので、英語しかできないので、英語の字幕をお勧めします。And there I just used the word eigo a few times in that little bit of Japanese there, so hopefully that helps you guys learn Japanese out there to get that stuck in your head, because you can hear me saying eigo, eigo, eigo. So word number one, eigo. Tomorrow we'll be back with word number two. But for now, let's get into these sneakers. It is the Nike Air Zoom, or is it Zoom Air Pegasus 36 Trail, which is dropping for the first time in more than 15 years. I did say the Pegasus line itself has been dropping for more than 35 years, and I'll stick up sneaker number one. The very first Pegasus sneaker that ever dropped way back in the early 80s, I think it was, when I was a little whippersnapper myself. I know it's hard to imagine me as a young man, or young person, or young boy, but that right there is the original Pegasus from way back, 35 odd years ago. And then it's been another 15 years since the Pegasus Trails have dropped, and we've got this new Pegasus Trail dropping right here, and it comes in two colorways. Now, one of the colorways is a really natural green colorway that goes with that trail, off-road, getting into the woods and things like that. And then the other one, well, it isn't. And I'm a bit confused by the other colorway, which you're probably looking at right now, because it kind of goes against the whole concept of the shoe. So there's the two different colorways. we'll look a bit at both of them. Usually when I talk about a sneaker that comes in multiple different colorways, I just show you bits of each rather than showing you the same bit on this every different colorway, which is what we'll do today. So today let's get a look at this and have a look at the sneaker. Now the most important thing in my mind, well, there's two really important things on the sneaker. One of them is that the upper is an all mesh upper and it's super light. It's an incredibly light and breathable upper, which is going to be a great feature for the trail runners out there because they want something light on their feet, especially when their sneakers get caked in mud and have that added weight on there as well. But also you want them to be breathable for when you're out doing your runs and to stay as comfortable as possible. But if we come down from that upper, which is, like I said, in that breathable material, if this was a basketball sneaker, we'd probably call these mud guards. But along the sides, between the midsole and the upper, you can see that there are mud guards, for want of a better word. I think Nike are calling them armaments in their promotional materials, but we'll just call them mud guards. And what's important about them is that they're designed so as to add an element of toughness to the sneaker. Now, if you have this upper that's made of mesh, breathable, very light, what that's going to do is if it gets snagged on like a stray twig or a little piece of a thorn or something, what do we call it in Scotland? The green bushes, gorse. That's what we call it, gorse. I don't know if people out there call it gorse or not, but there are these bushes in the Scottish wilds called gorse. And if you get something snagged on them, you're not getting off anytime soon. So if you imagine people trail running in those conditions, these mud guards along the side are very important to stop those little hooks and little thorns and things like that catching onto the upper and frankly damaging it. So we've got that upper mesh, and then below that you've got these mud guards designed to make sure that there's a bit more durability about the sneaker, especially since it's designed to go off-road and into the trails. And then we come down to the midsole itself, and what's interesting about the midsole is that there was a bit of a move in Nike high performance running sneakers. If I think of other Pegasus, or if I think the 4% especially, actually, that they have a whole air unit front to back, a single air unit within the midsole, which was actually quite a step forward in innovation and design. But these Pegasus 36s go back to the fore and aft air units in the heel and the toe. And I just remember what I had to say about those Sakai's. I meant to say that at the start of the video, and now I feel really bad about it, but I shouldn't really stop talking about the sneaker to get into those Sakai's, so I'll have to do that at the end. If Pint of Stuff is watching, I apologise for keeping you waiting. But yes, so the midsole has those air units front and back, two separate air units front and back in the sneaker. And then when we get to the bottom of the sneaker, to the outsole, this is the second of the two really important features on the sneaker, and they're called the lugs, L-U-G-S, lug, a single lug, and multiple lugs, and the outsole of the sneaker is lugged. So the lugs is the grip or the tread on the bottom of the sneaker there, and they're very pronounced on a trail sneaker, obviously, because you're running in mud and sort of changeable conditions where you've got sometimes light mud and sometimes sort of thick and wet, and it's harder to run in. So having those extended kind of, people describe them almost like cleats in a way, but it's important because they are extended there to give you better grip, but the very end of them is very flat. And the reason that they're flat is so that when you're running on roads, that it doesn't feel like you're running on cleats. So that you have that transition between road and trail without too much discomfort in your feet. So they've got these very flat topped lugs, so that when you're running on the roads, it gives you that flat kind of smooth ride that you would be expecting from a road shoe. But then when you transition to the trails and you're in the mud and you're running along those the dirt trails and in the forest and things like that, you've transitioned to the good grip that comes from having those lugs on there. It's a very important feature, and it's something in the shoe that people out there really need to think about if that's what they're looking for, if they're looking that kind of hybrid between running on the roads and running on the trails. Staying in that kind of department, going back up a bit to the mid-foot on the upper, there's a triangle on one side, which I think is obviously, to me, it's a mountain with a trail on it. But I've actually never noticed this icon before, and I wonder if anyone out there could tell me the history of that icon or where that icon comes on other shoes. Is it a trail icon for all trail shoes from Nike, or is it specific to the Pegasus trail? I don't know. So if you know more about that triangle on the, I think it's on the medial side of the upper, please let me know. And equally, if we go inside, I talked talked at the top of this video about that map that's on the insole in there. Now, I thought maybe it was Austria, so I had a look at an outline of Austria, and they are similar in shape, but no, it wasn't Austria. And then I thought, you know what, it kind of looks like Antarctica, so let's have a look at an outline of Antarctica. Boop, it wasn't an outline of Antarctica. Maybe it's just some random trail and it doesn't have any significance at all, or maybe it's an actual map of something. Now, if you know at home what that trail is, please do let me know in the comments down below. And that pretty much concludes my look at these this upcoming Pegasus 36 trail. It's a really fine looking sneaker in my opinion, and it obviously looks like it's going to do its job out there on the trails and on the roads. The last thing I really would look at is the lacing system on there, because I really like the lacing system that has that discreet kind of branding that runs, I guess it runs vertically up the lacing system if you consider the lacing system horizontally. It runs vertically up there. It's a bit more discreet on the green ones than it is on the multicolored ones, obviously. But I do like that. I think that branding on there is pretty cool. Now, I did say that I would bring forth my Sakai Blazers, which I think are an absolutely cracking sneaker, really fine shoe. I did a bunch of videos about these when they dropped. They still have that new sneaker smell, and they still have their DS knots in them there. But the reason that I'm showing these right now is for Pint of Stuff at Home. That's a channel I follow, and if you have any interest in sneakers and sneaker channels, please do follow Pint of Stuff. But what I want to do is I'll shove the tongue down on the inside, and hopefully Pint of Stuff will be able to see the kind of padding that's going on around the top line of these Blazers, because they were talking about on their channel was about whether or not they wanted to go ahead and try and score themselves a pair of these Blazers, the Sakai Blazers. You can see the branding right there, and they were comparing them to the class of 77 Habaneros and how little support and how little cushioning there was in the ankle section of those. So I thought what I'd do today is I'd get these guys out and have a nice close-up look there. Hopefully that's visible on the camera and you can see the kind of padding in there quite a lot, and the quality of the leather up here on the ankle. And we already talked about on my channel, you know, the quality of the leathers and the other parts of the sneaker, but it's specifically the quality of the padding around the ankle section there for Pint of Stuff. So that's for you guys that out there. I hope you appreciate that. And anyone else who's interested in sneaker channels, please do subscribe to their channel. I'll put the link down below. Okay, it's time for me to check off. Thank you very much for checking in my content today. Remember that Japanese word eigo for English. It will be useful, and I'm going to put it together in a whole sentence throughout this week, so please do check in every single day to make sure that you keep up with your Japanese studies. For now, it's time to check off. I'll be back tomorrow with the Tuesday Top 10 when I continue my 10 episode countdown of the reasons why I live here in Japan. Please do check that out. Do make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss out any of my content. Without further ado, I'll just do what I do at the end of every single video, which is point my left finger at you and say I will see you tomorrow.